I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, we are going into executive session to discuss 2.1 contract matter, individual employee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right.
We'll be back.
Yes, we will.
We entered into executive session at 7 o'clock to discuss contract, 2.1 contract matter, individual employee. And we have, members not present, Lara and Scott are attending the very exciting mock trial.
Oh,
Their children, so good luck to the mock trial people. Can I have a motion to, Pledge of Allegiance, sorry.
Are there changes?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So
Items
moved.
6, 7, and 8. So it's consent agenda, personnel, special services, and business.
So moved.
All in favor?
And a special thank you to the Friends of Byram Hills Lacrosse for the donation for our high school varsity lacrosse team, much appreciated. And it will be used well by our athletes
Yes.
who are already out there practicing.
Thank you very much. Great, we are always appreciative of the generous support of the sports teams. Any comments from the public? And we're gonna move on to our special report, budget hearing 2.
Yes, thank you. So second budget hearing, tonight we'll be hearing from Jill Boyton, Kevin Doherty, and then Mark Beza regarding our programs of special need, computer assisted instruction, and art and music.
So, go ahead, Lori, yeah, you.
Wait,
We're all
it's
on
my
you.
turn?
You're on,
Okay. So, it's March 19th, so we're at budget hearing 2, programs for students with special needs, computer assisted instruction, art and music instruction. We are moving curriculum development to April 2nd. And the next meeting will be our budget hearing 3, April 2nd, 2024. You will hear about curriculum development, interscholastic athletics, operations and maintenance, transportation services, revenue. Then on April 16th, 2024, budget hearing 4, final proposed budget. That is the last time public comment will be allowed to be heard on this budget. April 30th, 2024 is the budget adoption. May 7th, 2024 is budget hearing 5, review of the proposed budget. And May 21st, 2024 will be the budget vote at HC Crittenden Middle School from 6:30 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Great, thank you. And just a reminder to the public that it is this board meeting or the next board meeting that you may have comment on the final budget. All right, Kelly.
Take it away, Kelly.
Sure, just quickly as a review, our budget for next year, a 3.7% increase, budget to budget, a little over $3.7 million. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jill Boyton for programs of special needs, just to review our budget a little bit and just give you some further information.
Okay, thank you very much. The proposed 2024-2025 budget for special services and health services supports special education programs and services for students with special needs, psychological services, and health services. We always base the information on the October 2024 snapshot based on student headcount. And there are currently 340 students who are classified and have an individual education plan that may fluctuate a little bit during the course of the school year. The district's Committee on Special Education currently has 16 students who are placed in out-of-district programs, which includes 4 residential placements. The district also has students who attend our programs from neighboring districts. There currently are 2 students who come to Byram Hills, and their local public school district pays tuition for those students to come here. Our office does continue to receive referrals from neighboring school districts, and based on current openings in our programs and class profiles, if it's a good fit, then we certainly would accept those students from neighboring districts. We focus on meeting the needs of our students with special needs in the least restrictive environment. We have students who are placed in general education with related services only, students who are placed in general education with resource room support. We also have an integrated co-taught program, which is a special education teacher and gen ed teacher combination. We also have students who may require more supports and are placed in a special class program, which could be an 812 program. We have 2 of those programs at the high school, 1 at the elementary school, and we also have special classes, up to 12 students with 1 teacher, and maybe up to 15 students with 1 teacher. And we have all of those programs in all 4 of our buildings. We are continuing to provide professional development for the teacher teams in the integrated co-taught program. We offer that through Goldman Sauer and Rutherford, which is contracted through BOCES. We also contract with an Orton Gillingham fellow, Dawn Neiman, who provided 30 hours of methodology training to our teachers last year. This year in particular, she's providing a year-long practicum to 9 of our teachers, 7 at the K-5 building and 2 at the middle school. We just had more of that training on Superintendent's Conference Day for our teachers. With the practicum, our students are involved in creating lesson plans, and the fellow oversees the lesson plans and the delivery of that reading methodology. So our teachers are in this constant feedback loop with the OG fellow for the reading instruction. Our special education teachers, school psychologists, social workers, related service providers, and staff provide supports to our students, focusing on increasing their independent skills for the students to become self-advocates and identify what they need in order to maximize their own potential. So if we turn to the screens, I can go through, actually the one slide, I'll go through the slide. The 3.3% decrease in salaries represents a decrease in staffing, about 1.8 FTE decrease. There's no variance in the equipment line this upcoming year. The 6.0% decrease in the contractual and other line is due to the type of out-of-district programs and supports required to meet students' needs and the number of out-of-district placed students. Last year, we actually had 21 students that were placed in out-of-district programs. This current year, we have 16, and that does fluctuate. Sometimes this could be attributed to a few different factors. It could be that students may have transferred back to our district programs, families may move out of district, and some families choose to place their students in a private school setting. The 54.8% increase in the BOCES line represents an increase in contracted supports, such as behaviorists, hearing supports, vision and psychiatric evaluations, and also individual student placements. And those particular students may require more intensive supports and services. And there is no variance in the materials and supplies line. Some of our challenges that we face are ongoing mental health needs of our students that struggle with anxiety and depression, offering psychiatric support for students, and we also are challenged sometimes with finding appropriate programs for students that have extremely challenging behavioral needs. So in conclusion, I certainly would like to thank the board for your continued support on behalf of our faculty, staff, and our parents of students with special needs. So thank you.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill. And what an incredible job your department's been doing with all the training with Orton Gillingham, the MTSS work that's been happening. Colleen O'Connor is doing a great job at the high school. She had the DBT training for all of the middle school and high school teachers. There's just really a lot of deep training going on in your department with your assistant directors and you. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More questions for Jill?
I'm sorry, I just had a quick question. I think you mentioned it, but I didn't hear exactly what you said. For the BOCES services, you were saying that there's just fluctuation with the students and the types of services they require through
Correct.
BOCES? Is
Yes.
that, you were saying hearing?
Right, so there could be a student that may require hearing services, they could require sign language. So all of those services for any particular child will certainly increase the budget.
Okay, thanks.
And Jill, this budget that's presented here is the budget as of this moment and does not take into account if there's no appeal to the 21-year New York state law, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So if there's no appeal and the law stays as is, then these numbers are going to fluctuate because the kids who have reached the age of 21 will no longer be serviced by the district.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. So we'll move on to technology, computer system instruction.
Kevin,
Hey everybody. As you know, the technology department has a long-standing history of forward thinking towards the future and to plan and provide a safe, secure, and accessible technology environment for our school community. And as a reminder, during the last 3 years, the district participated in a multi-phase infrastructure project that included replacing every switch, router, and battery backup in the district, including migrating most of our physical servers to cloud-hosted environments and minimizing the net effect of which minimizes periodic hardware replacement costs that the district incurs, as well as allowing for our BOCES partners to manage the actual servers and therefore mitigate our cybersecurity risk to that. This year, that infrastructure project culminated in the replacement of all of our internal wireless access points with new access points that have a significantly longer lifespan as well, so we will get quite a long use and life cycle out of the current access points that we have. If you look at the slides, you'll see the line items that we have for next year. You'll notice that there are nominal increases in the salaries for typical contract adjustments. Our equipment line will stay flat. I'll address that in a moment. The biggest increase you'll see is in our BOCES services. I want to take a minute to just explain where there's 3 areas of focus that account for those increases in our BOCES line. First, to finish out that infrastructure project, we'll be looking to replace some fiber runs between some of our network closets. This is important because what it allows us to do is optimize the equipment that the district's already purchased, allowing us to ensure that we have interoperability should we have any power fluctuations or failures. And it allows us to ensure that we have the most stable environment possible. It also allows us to grow into the equipment that we have as well, allowing us to utilize the full throughput of all the equipment that the district's purchased in the past. The second area that accounts for some of that increase is and I'm excited about this, we are looking to expand our footprint of outdoor wireless access for campuses like Coleman Hill and especially here at the high school where it has been a problem for some time. So we are looking to leverage some of this to expand that for sporting events as well as to help support dismissal and some communication around that. The third area that accounts for that 7.4% increase in our BOCES line has to do specifically with cybersecurity. As you know, Byram Hills has partnered with the Lower Hudson Regional Information Center for managed IT services. Essentially, there are vertical teams that support us remotely, and we've been working closely with them to develop a methodology where they will provide cybersecurity support for us as well. So next year is the first year. We're one of the first districts in Westchester to participate in this, and what that will allow us access to is a dedicated cybersecurity vertical team, they call it in Lyric. Essentially, that team will provide us with remote endpoint protection and monitoring, identity and vulnerability management, and also after hours management and response. There's also some support for us for cybersecurity incident response training and all of that as well. So there's a significant increase in value for that expenditure. The fact is that cybersecurity needs and demands are changing over time and the costs are accruing, and by leveraging our partnership with BOCES, while we do see an increase in the budget, we are getting aid back on all of those purchases. And so we're purchasing equipment. You see that's not reflected in the equipment line. That's all wrote into BOCES so that we can maximize the amount of aid that we're getting on that.
any questions for Kevin?
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Finally, we'll turn it over to Mark about art and music.
Hi everyone.
Are you gonna sing ABBA?
At the end.
You just had Mamma Mia. Probably figured that.
Yeah, we did just close Mamma Mia a week and a half ago. That was really exciting for theater.
I
They came. It was a great production they put on, and they are already starting the third Barley Players production. They had an interest meeting yesterday. They're auditioning tomorrow, so we're excited for that. They're going to be producing Almost Maine in May. So In art, I'll start with art, that's what we have up here. We have a lot of exciting things going on, especially at the high school right now. We just had 10 students that were displayed at Katona Museum of Art in the Young Artist exhibit. Later this week, we have 3 students that were selected to the National K-12 Ceramics exhibition in Richmond, Virginia. So that's international exhibition there. Amy Menashe will be going there to see that exhibition for our students. We have a couple of students that also have applications in for the Junk Couture fashion
It's so much fun.
competition. I saw the videos they submitted are really, really excellent.
You know that?
So
Junk couture.
yeah,
has a wedding dress. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so some of the work the students are doing are really fantastic. Right after the break, we're jumping right into our advanced placement art show. It'll be the first week back. For anyone that's around, we're really excited about that. It's a highlight for us to see our upperclassmen and just the great work they've done over their careers here.
Where's that displayed?
It's going to be in Bobcat Hall this year.
Great.
Yeah. And then we have the Butterfly Project that's continuing this year. Our second semester students are going to be participating in that soon. We'll be opening that to the community in the spring and doing an installation later in the spring when it's a little warmer. We can install those outside a little more easily. Looking at our budget side for art, the salaries line is decreasing with a retirement at Coleman Hill. Judy Jarlar is retiring. And we're going to be shifting resources to cover that with our current staffing. Everything else is going to remain flat. We have seen some increases in supplies, especially in things like clay, but we've been able to manage those as best we can so far. So everything else there is staying flat.
And metalsmithing and jewelry making.
And
silver.
metalsmithing, and yeah, there's been a lot of interest there, but we've been
They're
able to-
really doing some amazing things in those, Kelsey.
Yeah, for the superintendent's conference day on Friday, all of our art teachers actually had a metalsmithing workshop with Jane Carlin she led. They had a really great afternoon. So thank you all for your support of that. For music, later this week you're going to see videos being put out by the Media and Communication Center from our district music festival that we did last month. Really wonderful event, 450 students from 5th grade, 8th grade, and high school all together performing. With the snow day, we had to do some moving of days there, but all of our orchestra students one day, our band students another day, and our chorus students on a third day. Even Dr. Lamia came in and sang with us for a few minutes. Really wonderful day for each group. The band day, they did a really new thing, interesting thing this year. In addition to each school played for each other. They also rehearsed and played together, but in addition, each instrument family, the woodwinds, the brass, percussion, they all played a piece 5th through 12th grade together, and they rehearsed all together. So you had 5th graders sharing stands with your seniors and working together, and it was just a really lovely experience. So we also want to thank the PTSA who co-sponsored that event for all their support, especially on that. I just left the high school jazz band. They did a great job at the 8th grade orientation last week. For those that were there, they'll be performing next month for our coffee house. And we're excited in our middle school. Our jazz band and our chamber groups have been really growing and getting a lot of interest. They're going to be performing at Trills and Thrills competition in May and going to Six Flags after that competition. Our 4th graders have a general music concert this Friday. I saw them yesterday. They look like they're having a really wonderful time showing off their singing, some movement, recorders, orff instruments. They're doing, everything is on display. And we have our Art Honor Society and our Triad Music Honor Society both having their inductions next month, as well as our spring concerts. Looking at our slides here, salaries are adjusting for our typical contract changes, and there's one increase due to a replacement of a staff member there. Equipment is staying flat. You'll see a shift between contractual to BOCES. We're trying to utilize, like Kevin was saying, trying to utilize BOCES services as much as we can because of the good partnerships we have there, and also to maximize the cost savings there. In materials and supplies, we have a little bit of an increase there. We're getting some more support for our theater programs at Wampus and at HEC out at the high school to cover the rights royalties for our productions next year.
And last year, I think we spoke about how the numbers, now coming well out of COVID are back up to really healthy levels. Particularly in the middle school and the lower school and the elementary schools. Is that still everything?
Sure,
still
yes.
firing off?
So in 6th and 7th grade, we're still in that lull from where that beginning of COVID, or the end of COVID was happening. We are seeing slight increases in 8th grade, we're seeing those. And in 5th grade, we're seeing them significantly, about 17.5% up if you look. And in the high school, they're also starting to inch up a bit. The one area that I'm really excited about is in 5th grade, we started having students, giving them the option to be in an instrumental ensemble and in chorus, and now that's moving up to the middle school. So where we used to have 1 or 2 kids sharing ensembles, we have a few dozen this year sharing. So that was an area of focus that we had last week's Superintendent Conference Day, looking in the middle school at those shared students and how they're doing, how we can best support them, and keep them ideally, if they're interested in both ensembles.
That's great. That's great.
Back up. If the kids stop doing an instrument in 4th and 5th grade, can they pick it back up in middle school, or is it really they miss their opportunity?
So it is difficult, but yes, we do it. Our teachers are really eager and excited to meet with kids. There aren't official re-entry points, but our teachers, when students are approaching or families are approaching our teachers and saying, hey, is this possible? I know our teachers have always been saying yes. We'll meet with you before school, after school. When I go to HCC, there are students that are always around the band and orchestra room playing or their free time, picking up an instrument. I know Mr. Petito's working with students like that. In the high school, I know anecdotally a few kids that couldn't fit in 1 year and then came back. For students, I know there's one senior, I think this year, that picked up Barry sax that had never played before. So we do encourage, if families want to do that, if they can support students by giving them some outside lessons. We try to do that, but if not, our teachers are always willing to meet students where they are and to help coach them up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Mark?
Yeah, oh, go ahead, you two first.
I have a follow-up question for Jill. The BOCES services are up 54%. Do you find that's due to the influx of student population and increase of classroom sections at Coleman Hill? Or is that coming across the board due to interventions and identification of student needs?
So for BOCES, it clearly is just about providing like extra related services, which could be related services of behaviorists, students that may require an itinerant vision teacher to come to any of our buildings. But a portion of it really is from the behaviorists. Vision services, we have students that require hearing services, so we have a teacher of the deaf that provides services to students. But it lies with that, but then also there are a couple of students that are placed in an out-of-district program and they require a lot of supports in their current program. So it doesn't have anything to do with so much like what's happening in our actual buildings, but there could be an itinerant teacher that provides vision or hearing services and comes to our buildings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Melissa, do you have a question? I thought you raised your hand. Mark, I just want to also talk a little bit about the Media Communication Center. The board probably remembers that early on in my superintendency, I asked the board and you approved a Media and Communication Center. We were having our information sort of farmed out to 3 different places. We didn't have platforms that spoke to each other. Brian Melso works very closely with you. He said that you've been really instrumental and supportive of him this year. He does absolutely incredible work. We are going to have for Lights Learning Action, which will be the library renovation, the proposed library renovation, and the field, second turf field and lights on the fields. Brian met with Chris Walsh and me and Mark and went through all of the different stations and what will be housed on those and put that together, and just having our own media and communication center has been incredible. And I don't know if the board remembers, but it is Mark's role to supervise that leg of arts and media. So thank you for that. You've been doing a tremendous job with him.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brian's a catch. I mean, he's great. Yeah. And Kevin, I didn't know if you wanted to end, I was waiting for Scott to arrive, but if you wanted to end by talking a little bit about data dashboard. I mean, I know it's like near and dear to Scott.
Yeah, that's something that we're certainly
We're spending a lot of time on.
spending quite a bit of time on. Some of the work that's happening, well, first of all, with the instructional staff, Tim and I have spent quite a bit of time with other members of the staff talking about our MTSS processes and looking deeply at what data we have available to us to help inform our instruction.
And so for people in the crowd, MTSS is multiple tiered systems of support. And so it is looking at data on students to see when and how we have to support them and how we're showing that they're showing progress.
And what's coming to light, one of the challenges that we're addressing now with that is that we did a study of what are the different systems that we have at our disposal to help inform our practices with students. And we've been working diligently to bring multiple systems that exist kind of in isolation and therefore require individual training to give teachers access to all of them into a single place where we can see visually what's happening on a holistic level, but also on an individualized level. So to look at indicators that we have for students that might need additional support, and then have additional data sets that allow us to dig in deeper to find out, are these indicators that we have symptoms of a greater problem? One of the benefits of a multi-tiered system of support is some of those tiers are academic and behavioral and social-emotional areas as well. And so we're building data systems that allow us to look at all the little pieces of evidence that we have that tell the story about what our students are experiencing. And we're very proud of the fact that one thing we're being very careful to maintain is the fact that the people who know the story of our students most, besides their parents, of course, is their teachers that they spend time with. And so we're being careful to make sure that we're not losing sight of the story of what's happening in the classroom as well. And that's some of the great work that's coming out of the conversations we're having internally. It's not just about the stats, but it's really about the story behind that. And often it's in that story that we find out more and more about what the right supports are that kids need, and whether or not, say, a dip in academic performance is a manifestation of something else that we might want to be attentive to as a student. And a lot of what we're finding is the data systems as we build them are validating a lot of the things that our teachers are saying to us as well, and giving us opportunities to monitor and how are we doing and how are our programs performing to support our kids. So quite a bit of work's happening there.
How much of the data is around a particular student and their journey versus trends in the broader data? So maybe you see a pattern of certain types of issues that you may not see if you weren't looking across all the data. Does the system enable you to do that?
So the system that we're working on predominantly now is at the student and class level, specifically to try to equip teachers with the ability to support the students. But your question's a good one about scale of the data that you look at, and also the timeline of data that you look at as well. We are building other systems internally that allow us to look longitudinally and look more programmatically to see whether or not we start to identify trends in that data as well. And things like the state dashboard. I know Tim has shared a lot of trend analysis data in some of our state performance and all of that. And we're looking at ways, frankly, also to make Tim's work a little bit faster to find that. Tim does yeoman's work in putting together all these different data points to be able to show that story. What we're trying to do is make that more efficient.
And school pass, want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
It's like double jeopardy.
So I mentioned the goal of expanding wireless here at the high school to help support dismissal. I've heard from a number of parents that dismissal is challenging sometimes, waiting in line to pick up their students and not able to communicate with them. So that's one of the things we're doing to help support that. At the elementary buildings, we also, when I landed here back at Byram, Jen made me aware that there are kind of two big challenges that we're experiencing with dismissal at the elementary buildings. One is families also often have routine schedules where the same thing is happening periodically. Every Tuesday, my son or daughter goes to wherever they go. And so with the system that we have now for dismissal, parents are required to notify the office every single time that there's a
So
change in that,
annoying.
and it's
I'm
extremely.
not even a parent of an elementary kid.
It's extremely annoying. And the second is we have this QR code system that parents have that they come into the school and again, it is an amazing effort on the technology staff and the office staff and in the building offices to create all those QR codes and manage all of that system as well. And part of that is that there's a hard cutoff time at which parents can make a change to their kid's dismissal plan. So we had three main goals in thinking about the dismissal at the elementary. One was to make it so that parents could pre-populate a schedule in over a long period of time. Two, to give the power over to the parents so that they can easily on a computer make changes to that schedule for as long as is possible during the course of the day. We all live very busy lives, things happen, you want to be able to make a change as long as possible during the course of the day, as close to dismissal as possible. And the third is we want a solution that doesn't necessarily require the QR codes to be in the car. They can be a bit troublesome at the beginning of the year. And so School Pass, we're doing what we're calling a soft launch of School Pass at the end of this school year. Essentially, it's an automated system that as parents drive, well, first of all, it allows parents to do what we talked about. Pre-populate their schedule in, they'll have an app and they'll be able to make changes to their child's schedule. They'll also be able to identify other families that they are consenting to allow their child to carpool with. And can say, you know, my child is allowed to carpool with Dr. Lamia, and on Tuesdays, Dr. Lamia is gonna take my child home with her, and that's all logged in the system, and you can pre-populate that for months in advance. When the cars actually come on campus, there's scanners that will actually scan the license plate of the car and identify that car as being belonging to that family. The parent will make that link between the license plate and the family, and it will automatically notify the teacher that that child's family or carpool has arrived on campus. The cameras also they monitor the cars when they come in, and they also stage them in line as well, so that we're not releasing kids that are deep in the line until the cars actually do come up. So it should help the workflow of our dismissal process work quite smoothly as well. And again, it gives ultimate control to the parents to ensure that they can determine what the appropriate dismissal plan is for their kids.
And then we're gonna put in those automatic, you know, like they have in the airport, so the kids can just hop on and.
Conveyor belts.
Let's figure that
No
one.
more transportation.
I mean, really, at some point, like somebody should be issuing a snack down a tube. I feel like it's really cool.
But
Yeah, it's good.
we've been
Very
working
efficient.
hard, there's quite a bit of data behind the scenes to go in. I mean, there's, you know, integrations with the bus system and all that. And our database manager, Krista, and Johanna Sargusa in the technology office have been doing amazing work in preparing this. We just did some training with our teacher aides as well as other office staff in the two elementary buildings during the superintendent's conference day and last week. It was very well received. They're anxiously awaiting the start of this because this is quite a big change for them as well. And we're doing training with our classroom teachers over the next couple weeks so that they know how to manage the system as well when those notifications start to come.
Is it
Every
like a,
parent appreciates it.
I was just gonna say, does it come to their computers? I know, I love this, I wish we had this. for
We have the notes.
It comes to the teacher's computer before the end of the day, is that?
So,
how we manage?
yeah, in real time, the teachers will be able to monitor the dismissal plans of the children in their classroom. And when dismissal starts, there'll be a display in every classroom as well as hallway displays that will notify students when their parents arrive for pickup. But also, and this is a safety thing that's quite an improvement as well, is we'll have staff members outside at the bus line. And when our buses arrive, which they don't always arrive at the exact same time, so when a bus arrives, one of our staff members will notify the entire building with the click of a button on an iPad that that bus has arrived, and any student that's rostered onto that bus will automatically be released from their classrooms, and they'll have a fixed amount of time. Once that bus departs, we'll notify that the bus has departed, and that comes up on all the screens. And so if a child does, in the very rare case that a child misses a bus, that child then knows to go to the main office. And that's part of the training that we've done with our staff as to how to handle all those situations.
Fantastic,
Great work.
thank you.
Love this. As a parent of an elementary kid, I can tell you that our schedule is changing to start tomorrow, and he usually takes the bus, and I have no idea where that QR code is, cause I received it at the beginning of the year, I haven't used it since. And now I'm totally stressing over where the stupid QR code is.
So parents, parents who might be listening tonight, there'll be some communication coming out. Again, kudos to Brian Melsa, who's been helping create some introduction videos for parents. We also have a support site for parents. As we start to roll this out, we've been really thoughtful about making sure to support the community well. So communication will start within the next few weeks, and we'll ask for parent support in helping to get onto the app and get things all prepared for us to help us with that soft launch that's coming before the end of the year. And then we plan to start next year with a full-scale launch.
Awesome.
Do you have Mia's QR code?
I'll find it, I have the email saved somewhere.
I'm sure I can find it.
I think that's it. Well, thank you all. This was a great presentation, right? We're gonna take a little break right now, but before you go, just big news. Our mock trial team won. You heard my phone buzz. They are county champs, and the next stop is regionals. We're going on a field trip, Gina.
Yeah, they were outstanding, just outstanding, and just worked together really well, well coordinated.
That's where Scott was before he came.
Very exciting.
So exciting.
Congratulations.
Great.
What a year.
I know.
All right, we gotta let them go so they can get their QR
We'll
code.
take a break so that you guys can exit and go home, and see you in 11 hours.
Thank you, drive
Thank
home
you all.
safely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you really want a new QR code?
I've got it somewhere, I have the email saved
She has it
somewhere.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so we're gonna move on to unfinished business, 10.1 review of policies. We have second read, 4316 physical education, 8410 student transportation, 6700 purchasing, and we have first read. What's the matter?
Policies. Nothing.
Did I miss one?
Nope, we're communicating.
Okay. First read, 5150 school admissions, 9250.6, rights of employees to express breast milk in the workplace.
Any questions on the second read or?
No, it's good,
Alright.
thank you.
Alright, so the two policies for tonight are 5150, school admissions, as Mia just said. This first one was last updated in 2015. This policy outlines our responsibility to educate all individuals ages 5 through 21, as well as any veterans who may reside in the district that had not yet received a high school diploma. Included in the policy are the required documents for admission, such as confirming proof of age and residency, as well as the proof of required immunizations, and also evidence of custody and or guardianship of a child. And that was the reason for the update. We did include that other piece in terms of the evidence of showing whether judicial custody orders or guardianship papers to enroll. Further, it provides a timeline of once the child is registered, when that child can enter into our district, as well as the timeline for the district to review all the documentation and ensure that residency and age and other requirements are in place. Any questions?
Important policy.
Okay. The next policy, 9520.6, rights of employees to express breast milk in the workplace, is a new policy for us. This policy through the New York Department of Labor, but also an offshoot or impetus from the Federal Pump Act of 2023, which really includes additional protections for employees who need to meet this requirement based on their birthing of a child in the workplace. So this policy gives all employees the right to express breast milk in the workplace. It conveys for our employees the time that's allotted for this activity, the kind of space that we're required to provide for the employee, things like a private location with a locked door, cleanliness requirements, etc. As well as the channels in which the employee can notify the district, and then recourse for the employee should the district not be abiding by the rights of the employees to express breast milk in the workplace.
Thank you, Gina. Any questions?
Thank you, Gina. Okay, can I have a motion to approve for a second read, 4316, 8410, and 6700, and first read, 5150, and 9520.6.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? New business. Textbook adoption. Who's doing that one? Was that Tim?
Are we pushing it?
We'll push that.
We're gonna move that to the next.
We have to make a motion to amend the
Can I have a motion to amend the agenda to remove 11.1 textbook adoption to our next board meeting on April 2nd?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, staff reports.
All right. Hold on, Larry's asking if she should come.
No.
We'll be done.
Okay. So very quickly, I've gone, do you all wanna say it with me? But anyway, it is important for the public, especially for people who tune into different meetings, to understand that we will have Proposition 2 on our voting this year. Byram Hills High School Lights Learning Action. This is a proposition. When I became superintendent, we started a capital reserve fund, and it is a fund that we had to ask the community's permission to open. And in that fund, the district planned to put money so that we could have it available to us when we needed to do major renovations. So we don't need to go out for these 30, 40, $70 million bonds. We've always done a very good job of maintaining our buildings and improving them with money that we have within our budget. So the community does have to vote whether or not we can now take that money out of the capital reserve for this project, which is what was its purpose. Phase 1 of the project is called the Learning Commons. That is at the high school. It's a library, lecture hall, central hub of the high school that will get a much needed renovation. I have pictures of it from the 60s when it was originally created, and it's exactly the same place. The BHEF helped to support us in our Coman Hill Library renovation in 1819, Wampus in 1718, and the middle school in 19 and 20, and they are going to be a huge supporter and contributor to this project this year. The library and lecture hall current conditions, this is straight from the 60s. You could just fly through these, Kelly. This is what it looks like. As I said, great during COVID, not really great for our today's learners. Our lecture hall, similar wear and tear, not the learning spaces that we've come to understand in our classrooms. And this being the central hub of our school, it should meet what our classrooms are providing for students. So the Learning Commons, consisting of the library, the lecture hall, and that main hub with a kiosk, areas, food kiosk, and areas for kids to congregate. This will be completed, provided the board, the community votes yes. This will be completed by March of 25. So we are talking 1 year from now. So if we have approval this May, they're going to demo this summer, and they're going to complete the lecture hall this summer. And then by the spring, by March, but I actually think it may be more like January, the high school will be finished indoors. We'll be doing all of that work from the outside, and you'll see that this is the lecture hall. This is what some of the renderings will look like for lecture hall. Go ahead, Kelly, keep going. There is the kiosk area. That's going to be the main hub with a food kiosk. And we have, this is the hallway, which will have small glass enclosed classrooms for students to work in small groups. And then in the main hub of the highway, we'll have our circulation desk. And in the main hub of the library, we'll have different work areas, comfortable seating for students to be working. And then this is my second favorite, which is this area, which overlooks what will be a courtyard outside that will be enclosed for students to be able to go from the library to the outdoor space. This is a large classroom, which will have a demountable wall, so it could be 2 small classrooms or 1 large classroom. Large and small spaces is important. And my favorite part, the outside, which I've always thought, I remember 100 years ago when I was assistant principal at the library, it always bothered me that the kids were sitting inside for lunch. And now they have some outdoor spaces for lunch, and I always wanted to put big garage doors on the opening of the cafeteria so that kids could have fresh air, and this is a much needed place for kids to go. And the second part would be Byram Hills Turf Field number 2. So if this is approved, the high school part of it will be finished by March at the latest, we're told. And then we're going to be doing turf field number 2 in this next summer, summer of 2025. And that will go right next to our current turf field. And then by 2027, we will illuminate our fields and our courts. And this summer, we're going to start working on, provided this gets approved, policies for use of lights. It's my summer job. You can go through these timeline, and this is what the proposition is going to look like. Asking the community to give permission for the school to take $8 million out of that capital reserve fund toward this project. The BHEF will be supplementing this project as well to pay for it. And yep, that's it. I think I covered all that. That's our timeline. Bada beep, bada boop. There you go. Go ahead, Kelly.
It's probably important to note, because we talked about it a couple meetings ago, that there's a plan in place for doing construction during the school day, because the initial phase one is going to extend well beyond the summer into the school year, so that was a consideration.
So
that I
all the
think we all
demo work will be done over the summer, and then the construction will be coming from where the outdoor courtyard is going to eventually be. That is going to be the egress for everyone who's gonna be working on that project, so they're not going to be intermingling with our kids with their chainsaws and sledgehammers.
And it's not gonna affect parking or anything.
Nope. None of that at all.
Jim, one question and maybe clarification regarding the lighting, because I've had comments from the community, or questions from a few community members. Although the plan is to be completed in 2027, it's there's phases, right? Some of the lighting will be 2026. I don't think that's indicated in the last few presentations, so there was questions on,
Oh, that's good to know.
right, and I think the main.
We should probably put from 2026 to 2027.
Because my understanding is that the soccer / football / lacrosse fields will be 26, the baseball and tennis courts
Will be
will be
27.
27.
Yep. Exactly. We'll
be good.
specify that when we do
And there could be.
our road tour.
There could be trips.
Yeah.
Let's be delays.
And we are having numerous nights at the high school, whether it's for the Byram Hills Education Foundation, the board is gonna be going the Tuesday we return, you'll be the first guests. We are going to do a sort of museum walk tour through the high school and through the library. We will have Promethean boards set up with renderings of what each of the spaces will look like and what our proposed plan will be. And we're inviting all community members. We'll be sending out an invitation to community members in May, right before the vote, so people can come in and take a look. We're really excited about it, the kids are really excited about it, even the kids who are graduating. I've said this story before, one student said, wow, you know, I should be upset because I'm graduating, but I'm so psyched that they're gonna have this.
That's nice.
And in our athletic advisory committee meeting, the kids were more excited by the library than they were by the turf field and the lights,
That's
which
exciting.
lends itself to our scholar athletes, right? So applaud them for that.
The community tours, are they organized tour times or are they just wandering
So,
around the school?
so you can show up, it's gonna be 2 hours and it is timed, meaning you'll enter a certain hallway, you'll get to the first one, that ends, you move to the second one, it's just gonna be like a museum.
But it's a distinct 2 hour.
There's an advanced
2
notice
hour
as well.
block, and it'll probably take you less than 15 minutes to go through.
Great.
Yeah, and you can arrive at any time, so you don't have to have timed entrances. Yeah, it'll be playing on a loop.
All right, so tonight, March 19th, is budget hearing number 2, programs for students with special needs, computer assisted instruction, art and music instruction. We heard about their wonderful budgets. The curriculum development is being moved to April 2nd, which is our next budget hearing meeting. That will be on April 2nd, budget hearing 3. And we will discuss curriculum development, interscholastic athletics, operations and maintenance, transportation services, revenue. And then on April 6th, and that's the last time, no, that's not the last time.
It's the
No, April
April
16th budget hearing 4 is the final proposed budget. April 16th
April
is the
second.
last time. that
April
you can-
2nd.
Second is the last time you can
Can
comment
comment.
because the final proposed budget is done.
Is done. Okay, so
comment.
after April 2nd, no more public comment. April 16th, budget hearing 4, final proposed budget. April 30th, 2024, there will be budget adoption. May 7th, 2024 is budget hearing 5, review of proposed budget. And May 21st, 2024 is the budget vote at HC Crittenden Middle School, 6:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. So again, just tell everybody when the last time they can vote, come in and make comment.
Comments April 2nd.
The next one, yep.
Open for,
Thank you, Lori.
This presentation will be on the website tomorrow, and if you have any questions regarding the budget, please feel free to email me at any time.
thank you, Kelly. Gina, do you have anything?
Oh, I have more updates.
Oh.
After the judge pronounced our team the winners, she asked what district we were. She then complimented our team on being the most respectful, mature, and professional team she's ever witnessed. Yay!
They are all those things.
That's wonderful.
Always nice to hear. Always nice for parents to hear that their kids are behaving themselves outside of that.
Yeah, we're all happy to be here because we have kids like that.
If you're ever in court, this team can help you out. I'd be very confident,
May
even
that
though they haven't
never
gone to
come
law
to
school.
And I have to say, like, this is, mock trial is a club, but the amount of work and time that these kids put into this is tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hours and hours and hours of
A lot of stuff behind the scenes, just preparing, a lot of preparation is
Yeah.
a big part of it.
yeah, it's tremendous. Congratulations again. Are there any other board reports? Okay, any
Oh,
communication?
board reports,
Yeah.
nothing big, but, tomorrow is BTSA and BHEF, so at the next meeting we can report on that. And we had an interesting and curriculum discussion with Westchester Putnam School Boards Association. Yeah, with just some different examples of curriculum in various districts around the county, and always learn something from attending those. That was useful. That was last night.
Great, thank you. And tomorrow morning is the Health and Wellness Advisory Committee.
And March 22nd, don't forget, we have the HCC board school visit at 9:30.
Yep.
I just put that, I just emailed Deb.
April 4th will be Wampus school visit,
Yes,
I think you're on.
and
I wasn't on it.
Byram Hills High School, April 16th, and
Oh,
finally,
yeah,
April
9:30, just getting
24th,
9 o'clock.
HCC, and we don't do Komen until May 8th.
Isn't HCC?
9:30.
HC's
Oh,
Friday.
yeah, it is. It is
Yeah,
Friday.
HCC
It's a
is
principal's
Friday.
coffee, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Great, any communications to the board?
Thanks for paying attention.
You're welcome. Nope. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the board minutes from March 5th?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Thank you. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Too eager. Thank you, everybody.
Good night. If you're listening to me.